the UKNO podcast. Feeling good about it. My name's Mike Watts. Let's go.
We out here.
This is an interesting one, man, and I'm gonna jump right into it. Okay?
Yeah, you hit me off because you got something on the call sheet that I'm a little confused about, but you said don't be worried, so I'm trusting you. What you got?
Okay. Yeah. So the reason I say don't be worried is because nothing's over. Nothing is over. But the season of the UKNO podcast, this season, ends with this episode. It's over. After season 1, we've officially finished our first season. We're in season 2 after this. When you hear from us again, we will be in season 2. It'll be a different UKNO podcast. Okay. I don't know about different, but like, similar vibes. The reason I say that, so, there's actually like a lot of projects that I'm working on right now and a lot of things that are going on right now. And I'm taking a step back from doing creative things because it's not benefiting me as much as I need it to be, is the craziest thing. Like I'm such a large part of a lot of different projects, and I need to make sure, one, that I can give myself to the projects that I need to, come on. And then from there, two, I need to make sure that it's high quality and it's what I want to be doing because, especially as it comes to let's talk about the UKNO podcast first, right? So the podcast here, I love the podcast. I like doing this. Every time we do it, I feel better after I did it than before I did it, every single time. But it literally eats up my week in an interesting way because let's say Tuesday. Now it's Thursday that we're recording this right now, but like sometimes it would be on Tuesday, and our time constraints are gone now, right? Technically, like our like the time constraints that we were originally doing on Tuesday because of refuel and all that stuff, like that's gone.
Yeah, time constraints are gone. So like I got
time constraints are completely gone. That's a whole different thing that we didn't really talk about at all, but that does make things quite a bit easier. But besides that, like let's say with the time constraints, it ate up a significant portion of my week to where, let's say 7 o'clock we record the show, that takes an hour. That takes probably about 30 minutes of setup and takedown on my side. And then from there, the next day, it does take me about 5 hours to get the podcast fully up and ready for Friday because of the time that my computer has to be stationary, right? It's mixing down the video, it's uploading it to YouTube. I can't really do anything else on my computer during that time, and I need that time right now. So, with that being said, at least for the rest of July, there's not a chance that I can do another podcast. So, that is one. The other thing that I think with season 1 ending is that I would love to actually take these 7 people that actually listen to the podcast, interview them at least to an extent, you know what I mean? Take this time that we would spend on making a podcast and hear the people out that listen to us, see what they like, see what they don't like, see what they think we can improve on. And then from there, if you're listening to this right now, you're going to get reached out to. Damn, reach out to us, and we'll make sure that we schedule some time to actually see what you thought of what we did in season 1
think of it
and
as,
what worked.
Think of it as a mini guest feature on the UKNO podcast that just isn't going to get published.
Exactly. And I'm definitely willing to credit everybody that we interviewed, like once we come back for season 2.
You're all
just
officially
to say, like,
friends of the program.
Easily, if not more. Like, we owe you something. We'll get you a t-shirt. It's unofficial, but a t-shirt or something. But yeah, I think we should spend some time talking to those people, your dad, my uncle, Madison, all these people that have given us their time, an hour and a half out of their weeks, and see what they liked about it, see what they didn't like about it, see what drags, see what kicks, all these things. And then from there, we'll come back, like a month later with something that's much stronger, much more well put together, something that is easier to put out, because taking like literally 10 hours out of my week is not possible right now. And I need to make sure that I am getting what I need to out of my creative life, because I literally put up a post today. I was like, I'm not doing any more I'm not putting myself towards any more creative projects. So I got DJ stuff that's still going up this week. I got, musical things that need to get done still. But at the end of the day, season 1 of the UKNO podcast, this is the finale. And I think also, last thing I want to say on it is, if you've actually been following kind of what's been going on, this is quite the like season 1 kind of, storyline. Like you had a whole move, which I want to talk about in a second. I've had quite a few things going on. Like it's been a lot of glow up since we started doing this. You know what I mean? So it feels very applicable for season 1 to end and new things to begin.
We just closing the book, or not the book. We're ending the chapter, right? We still in the first
or the book. If it's like, I'm saying if it's Harry Potter book 1, the Sorcerer's Stone just ended. You know what I mean? we can get on the Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah, we about to be killing some snakes in the next season.
Ooh, the bastards. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I want to talk about the move. How was the move, Doug?
The move sucked.
Okay.
I mean, let's just call it. Nobody likes to move, and on top of that, we decided to move in a heat advisory. So I think on the day moving to St. Louis, I want to say we were unloading the truck, and it was damn near 95 degrees at least, right?
Holy God.
We're for half the truck, we were having to walk across like asphalt. So there was like a little 25-foot stretch where it was just 115 degrees instead of 95 degrees. That sucked.
Oh my God.
And me and Madison both decided the next time that we move, I don't care how much it costs me, I'm hiring fucking movers. I'm not doing this by myself again. I'm hiring movers, and I'm going to sit on the cooler drinking a Miller Lite and watching these people that I paid carry my shit in and out of my house. So I'm not sweating my ass off.
Yes.
I'm not doing it again.
Yes. Never.
But the physical the physical move aside, it's been dope. The house is good. We got a yard for the dogs. It's nice being back in a real city where I can literally pop out my front door, drive across the street to a gas station and get like a Gatorade or just a case of beer. I can drive 5 minutes down the street, less than that probably, and I got a Chick-fil-A, I got a Penn Station, I got a Panda, I got a McDonald's, I got a Taco Bell, I got a grocery store, I got a gym that's literally half a mile down the street from my house. It looks dope that I'm gonna check out. So I'm very excited to check out St. Louis. I never thought that was a word that I would ever say in my life. So, I mean, we're here and we're gonna enjoy it. And you know, St. Louis is dope so far.
Hell yeah. No, I know per last episode, I'm contractually obligated to come down to St. Louis soon.
You have a requirement.
That's the difference. So yeah, that's a different story. I would love to come down anyway, regardless of my obligations. That sounds so good. I mean, I've always loved St. Louis. Not necessarily as a place that I would like want to live, but I think it's always been a great place, and I know quite a few people that did move there and love it. So like, let's go, man. This is a lot of big things happening.
Yeah, but no, I think you bring up a good point. It's good. Like we put out. This is episode what, 17? So 18,
I think.
18.
Is it
18,
it
17?
Hold on.
I don't know.
Let me check. I'm actually mad curious now because this is important for us to know for posterity. But continue. I'll say it in a second. So
I mean, we put in, because we were doing it for probably 8 weeks before we started releasing them.
At least.
So if it's 18, that's 26. We'll round up. We'll go. We've been doing it for 30 weeks, right? Off and on, and then on pretty hard. And
it's almost a year.
I feel like we're getting in a groove. We're starting to get a little bit of a flow together. It is episode 17. F17? Okay. I want to get it to a point where I'm putting more into it ahead of the podcast, right? I've been the one primarily for the past few weeks putting together the call sheet and like putting all the topics up there. You're throwing in shit that you want to talk about. I want to be better at building out that call sheet throughout the week and then taking an hour, 2 hours before the show to put together some legit notes so that we can kind of look at it from a new perspective of, okay, I'm going to bring some actual facts. Like instead of just pulling shit out of my ass, I'm going to bring, like we're talking about, the Highland Park shooting. We got that on the call list, right? I'm going to bring facts and I'm going to look up articles. I'm going to have quotes.
Wrong sound effect. Yeah.
You didn't want to use that sound effect? Oh. But you know what I mean? Because like and I know you're putting in all the work on the back end, so I want to make sure I'm putting that work in on the front end so that we can actually make it a little bit, not necessarily informational, because we're not informational people. We're not smart.
Yeah.
But we want to button it up a little bit, you know? I feel like we're right now, we're the office worker at 5:30 with his tie completely undone at the bar. And I'd just like to get back to like a 5:05 when he just walked into the bar and his tie's just loose, right? He's still got all the buttons together on his shirt. Like we don't need to be uptight and in a suit and tie all the way done with that top button done. No. We can undo that top button, loosen the tie a little bit, pour out a beer, and still be professional. Because at the end of the day, we are professional podcasters. You know what I'm saying?
I'm curious. Do you have a beer tonight?
No, it's just water right now.
This water. All right, come on, I got this beer. It's Miller High Life, so it's not drink. But here we are. I'd like to propose a toast with your water to the end of season 1.
Cheers.
Good shit. To the end of season 1. We nailed it. I think we nailed it. I don't know. We'll talk to the people. We'll see if we nailed it. Maybe we didn't. All right. Break me into this call sheet, man. This is good.
So we're going to start out local. We talked about this one on the podcast a couple weeks ago. A girl who was a year younger than me at Fenwick. I want to say maybe this was 3 months ago. Came out and publicly accused a teacher, John Quinn, at the high school of sexual misconduct. Fenwick High School. Yeah. Not necessarily. I don't know what the right term is because he didn't try to have sex with her or anything, but he was definitely crossing a line that everybody can agree on, where he was super out of pocket, almost borderline, according to her accusation, stalker-ish, and super inappropriate and gropey, and just talking about things that he shouldn't be talking about to a student, right?
So 2 things. One being, once you bring in gropey, if gropey is a thing that it actually was, that's sexual assault. But if it was not gropey and was just weird and even stalkerish, because stalking is a different thing, but sexual harassment would be what it would be technically. But as soon as he gropes her, that's sexual assault, which is all of it's condemned. Done.
Yeah, just some shit that's super unsavory, right? Some things that should not be going on in a high school, especially between a teacher and a student. So. Yeah. Fenwick High School, fast forward 3 months to yesterday, I believe, or maybe it was Tuesday, sends out an email, and it states that, here, I actually might have the email somewhere in my, and this is where in season 2, I'd already have that email up. I'd have it ready to go, right?
But that's real.
Fenwick sent out that email.
At the same time, though, still, Jesus.
And basically saying that per the findings of their independent review that was conducted by the investigators that they paid for, all this shit, they found that John Quinn was way out of line, that his actions were not actions that should be conducted within a high school, and not actions that they condone in any way, nothing like that, right? They then go further to say that they will not be renewing his contract for future years, and then they bookend this email with the information that everybody wanted to know, which they felt that his actions were so detrimental to the environment at the school that he's gone. That effective immediately, his contract has been terminated with the high school of Fenwick, and they basically kicked him to the curb. They said, I know your brother used to be the governor of Illinois. I know you've been here for 35 years. I know you've won state titles in women's basketball, but get the fuck out. And they kicked him to the curb. So, man. I'm not going to give Fenwick a full round of applause because there's no way in hell they deserve it. But I'm going to give them a half-hearted golf clap, a very light golf clap, like the golf clap that you would give Adrian if he's trying to tee off and he hits the ball. Doesn't have to go forwards. It doesn't have to go far, but he hit the ball.
You did the thing, Whether you did it well or not is not we're talking. But okay, so this had already been first of all, but this has already been referred to the police, and they just didn't do anything. Is that what had already happened before?
What had happened before, if I'm remembering correctly, was that the statutes of limitations for what he would be charged with was already gone.
Wow.
So there weren't any criminal charges that he could be held to because of how long ago it happened.
Yeah. That fucking sucks. Yeah, that sucks. But I mean, hey, if that's not a possibility, then I guess this is the best possible outcome. I hope Helen is okay right now. And that's all I got. Honestly, like, fuck that guy. And I think anything like that, so, like, we could talk about the Catholic Church in general, but Catholic schools, especially schools around us, I would hope that they're trying to purge themselves of shitty people like that with a vengeance. Because, oh my God, John Quinn being around for so long, and you had said that it was like a known thing, right? Like,
yeah, everybody just chalked it up to, oh, that's just Mr. Quinn, which is like, if that's your justification, like, you know you have a problem.
Oh, come
Which
on.
we
You
live in
can't put
different
that on the
times now.
kids, right? Because, like, we're fucking
Yeah.
high school kids, okay? Some
Yeah.
dude's just been doing that for forever, and you're a freshman and he's doing it, and the seniors are being like, oh, that's just how he is, and then you're a senior and he's still doing it, like, oh, that's just how he is, and it's a circle that just, or a cycle that just continues.
I hate it here.
and that's the real, I mean, that's what I say. We live in different times now, like, also as it comes to the internet and the ways that we can, like, talk to each other and connect and hear stories that have happened in faraway places and stuff, and, you know, relate them back to our lives. Like, those things are going to keep coming out and are going to get weeded out, and, you know, the weirdos of the world will eventually be called out, and I hope that's where it's going. But at the end of the day, John Quinn, yeah, you should probably move, Doug. I would move if I was
Yeah, you gotta get out of
state,
state.
but
You gotta at least get out of Oak Park. Like, don't be showing your
Rough.
face at any fucking football games. Like, I don't want to see you
No,
at
never.
the water polo games for state. Nothing. You are no longer a Fenwick graduate, and you were never a Fenwick teacher. Get the fuck out.
Which also, I would never blame the kids in this situation, but at the same time, like, I mean, he's been a teacher there, you said 25 years, right?
Something crazy like that. He's been there forever.
So probably, let's say it was 10, 15 years in that he started doing, like, weird shit. And because the entire time you were there, it was a thing, right?
Yeah, he would, like, rub
Okay.
your shoulders and get way too close to you.
Ugh.
And his breath always
Ugh.
smelled, too, is the worst part.
Damn, dude. If you're going to be creepy, at least be, like, hygienic. But
Yeah.
regardless, definitely, like, I wish people would come forward and speak up. And I think that's the thing that's happening more and more, like I said, because, like, just the interconnectivity of the world. I hope that kids that go through this, it doesn't take 10, 15, 20 years to be like, yo, that's not cool. Like, come on. If you hear this, no, just speak up. Just say something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm glad he's gone, and I'm glad they did half of what they should have done 10 years ago. So, from one local story to another local story, and this is one that I know is going to get you heated, because we've talked about it on here before. We're going to dive into the deep waters and the murky waters of gun control here. Unfortunately, over the 4th of July holiday weekend, there was another mass shooting, this time in your neck of the woods, my old neck of the woods in Highland Park, Illinois. If you are not from the Chicago area, Highland Park is a northern suburb about 20 miles outside of the city, and I haven't spent a whole lot of time there, but from what I'm garnering, it's a pretty, like, wealthy area. And a pretty well-off area. We're kind of dancing around it, but a pretty white area. So it's a tragedy. You never thought that a 4th of July parade and something like that could be now associated with and synonymous with a mass shooting, because it's something that's supposed to be a celebration of our country and our patriotism and all this bullshit, and then you've got somebody who's a white supremacist calling himself a patriot, just gunning down people from a rooftop. It's just disgusting, and I feel like we're always talking about it, but it never ceases to boggle my mind how little ever gets done about any of these things.
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna say his name because we don't care about his name. He's a bitch. He's a coward. He's a long distance serial killer. He is not a sniper. He's a long distance spree killer. He's not a sniper. But whatever his name is, I'd like to induct him into our punchable faces hall of ass. Because fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Fuck that act. Fuck the cowardice. That shit's all so stupid, man. Like,
he doesn't deserve a
much to me.
punchable face. He deserves, like, a like a gang initiation type beatdown where he's not getting initiated for anything. He's just getting the shit kicked out of him by like 6 or 8 different people.
I agree. But at the end of the day, this is an individual who sucks, who's sick, who, at the end of the day, also acquired legal guns after, and this, I haven't checked this, in 2019, he threatened to kill his family. Yes. And it was taken very seriously by the local police department. And he still was able to get legal firearms.
Do you know why he was able to get legal firearms?
I do not.
So you are correct. In 2019, it was well documented. There were police reports. The police arrived at his residence because he was making threats at his own family members, I believe extended family members, that he was going to kill them. They confiscated a samurai sword and I want to say they confiscated at least like 10 different knives from him and just a bunch of blades, right? He had fucking steel armory, right? So that happens in 2019. The police confiscate all that shit. They decide that there's not enough warrant or enough there to warrant any criminal charges or anything like that. And they kind of look at it as, okay, he's not stable right now. We're going to take these weapons and leave him in the care of his parents because that's their job. Well, in the care of his parents in 2021, his father, who ran for mayor of Highland Park as a Republican and a staunch Trump supporter, he lost. Fuck that dude. But in his Trumpisms, he sponsored his son's application for a gun license. In 2021, his son was less than 21 years old, which requires a sponsorship in the state of Illinois. Or maybe it was 18. I want to say it was 21. Because I think he's 21 now.
He's 20. I think he's 22 now is what
22?
most people are saying. But yeah,
so, okay.
Yeah.
So
it's close regardless.
Regardless of the age or the requirement of the reasoning, he was required to have a sponsorship due to his age to get his gun license. His father sponsored him. His father has now gone even further and hired the defense attorney he's a really famous defense attorney. He was just representing R. Kelly. He hired R. Kelly's defense attorney because he is now worried that he's going to be charged for, I don't know what they've said or if he's even been charged. I would assume
like some kind of accessory shit.
I don't know if you could do accessory, but you could definitely charge him with some form of negligence. Because he's sort of white collar shit because he's falsifying a document saying that this person is going to be a responsible gun owner, and it's very clear that he wasn't a responsible gun owner. So fuck that dude. But what I want to talk about here is the just wildly different ways, or the contrast, right, between how this piece of shit was brought into custody and how, what was his name, Jalen Walker?
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but yeah.
How a black teen was gunned down the day before, 90 casings, 60 of which hit him.
Yeah.
As he's running away. They shot him in the back 60 times, and they brought in a spree mass shooter who injured 35 people, killed 6 or 7, and he was brought in without a shot fired, and I'm pretty sure they took him to like fucking Wendy's before he went to prison.
Which, that's ridiculous. I didn't know that, but
that
at
might
the same
be just
time,
me like kind of elaborating and making my own.
I think
my own
they
conclusions.
do tend to do that when it comes. So
maybe
I've
watched too much Dog the Bounty Hunter.
I have an interesting opinion on this. Is where once you get the what's his name? Jamar? What did you say his name was?
I think it was Jalen Walker.
Jalen. Okay. So I had seen all of that story and stuff before, and I saw the video, and that shit was troubling, of course. And the realest thing being that I think it's two completely different situations.
Oh,
It's
for
one,
sure.
Because once you get an 8-hour chase to your mass shooter on 4th of July, the cooler heads have been brought in. Damn near, I wouldn't be surprised if the FBI field office got called in for that type of shit. You know what I mean? And they know how to take someone in without fucking them up. And cops who are in a police chase with Mr. Walker, with Jalen, literally are not cool heads. One, they are absolutely not cool heads. Two, you don't know who these people are with the cops. Like, I don't know who the people were that took down old fuckface in Highland Park, but I do know that it was a much more immediate situation. It was exigent circumstances. Should they have shot him? Absolutely the fuck no. Definitely not as many times as they did. As soon as he's incapacitated, if it comes to that, which even the police chief in that situation had said, I read, that he didn't see anything on the video that would have necessarily led to any shots being fired at him. But regardless of that, because that's not the conversation we're having right now, the conversation being that cooler heads prevail when you have an 8-hour chase and you finally catch the guy that did the things to the people, the rich white people, and from there, Jalen Walker was in a bad situation, and the cops are going to do what the cops are going to do, man. They have way too much choice, way too much discretion. I can't deal with it, but you know, that is what I think, and I think they're two completely different circumstances, and I don't like seeing them compared. Yeah.
No? Well, it's not necessarily comparison. It's the contrast between the two events happening so closely together. Because you are right, there are completely different situations. And
they're happening in completely different places with completely different police departments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and I mean,
there's
there's definitely something to be said that prior to the incident, Jalen Walker did lead police on a high-speed chase, fleeing them. I mean, you shouldn't do that in the first place. But
not what I'm saying, but yes,
no,
like that's what I'm saying. It's like the circumstances, the way that the people were amped up to the capture or to the murder of the assailant were completely different, and it does warrant a completely different look at it. I'll say. Okay.
So then, does that, because now you got my wheels spinning, right? Now you got my wheels spinning.
Yes.
So does this then bring credence to the point that a lot of people have been saying that defund the police isn't necessarily the right mantra to be shouting, right? It's not necessarily defund the police. It's reallocate our resources within the police so that we're putting an emphasis on training and not militarizing the police, right? So that when you're in that situation such as Jalen Walker, you're able to have the cooler heads that the individuals had in the case of the piece of shit from Highland Park.
No. I definitely think it's both, because one, defund the police. I 100% agree with defund the police, and it's not that you should take all of the money away from the police, but it's that the police are obviously not there to allocate the money correctly in the first place. So then you have to break it up into social services, into policing, into all these things, and then that's when you now have a new police budget that then should be allocated to more training and less militarization. You know what I mean? Like that's definitely what it needs to be, is that we need to take away from the criminal is wrong aspect of it. And I shout out the Chicago police recently to putting a new rule in place. I think it's a rule. I don't think it's a law. But you're no longer allowed to chase a suspect in certain types of crimes. I think it's a proposed Chicago cop statute. But like in certain, and you have to weigh, like you're gonna have to basically justify to your bosses like why you chased a criminal, depending on the crime that it was, like the exigence of the circumstance, like how like immediate you need to react, you know, how prepared are you to engage in a chase and things like that. So, and they're trying to combat, because it's a much higher likelihood that you'll die by a cop's hand if you're chased by them. So they're trying to limit the amount of chases. That way they're just saving lives, and also you're not chasing somebody for, you know, suspected, let's say meth selling. Like, bro, don't chase and kill people for selling drugs. So like pretty much.
I think
It
like as a
depends on what
general
job.
rule of thumb, as a police officer and just as a person, like if somebody's running away from you and you're shooting an entire clip at them, like you're doing something wrong. Like
Definitely the amount of shots fired in this case with Jalen Walker is absolutely insane.
obscene, dude. It's ridiculous.
There's no need for that many shots.
And even that
No
police
need.
chief has come out in interviews and been like, there is absolutely no scenario or no situation that would require this many shots being fired.
Which is what I think is the issue with that circumstance. You know what I mean? I don't actually necessarily have a problem with them shooting at him, even though, because I saw the video and it looked like, hey, if a cop fired a shot in that moment where they led him on a chase, I probably would have done the same thing. I wouldn't have been a cop in the first place. But if it was that, then I understand. But you're talking 90 rounds, dog. Come on.
It's unnecessary. It's excessive, and so I think like what you brought up with the Chicago police rule is something that after I had seen the Jalen Walker video, I was thinking of. What if at a federal level, because we have federal rules of engagement for the military, right? We have a stricter threshold of rules of engagement in foreign wars. You had to check way more boxes if you were a soldier in Afghanistan engaging somebody in combat than you do now if you're a police officer and you're engaging your own citizens in combat. So
the real thing, it used to be officer friendly. Now it's soldier friendly. You know what I mean? It's a different police force to when those laws were made. There's a lot of lobbyists trying to keep those laws the way they are.
That's true. But if we look at it from like a rules of engagement perspective, you should have a higher threshold of engagement. You know, you should have more boxes you need to check before you're engaging somebody like that when it's your own citizens. Like just from a cut and dry, like black and white, you should need to have way more reasoning to do something like that to a citizen of the United States than anybody else if we're in a hostile country. And it's absolutely mind-boggling that something like that hasn't been put into place.
I recently rewatched the Bourne trilogy, and that was the funny thing at the end of that, where all the U.S. senators or the CIA people get taken down because they were executing American citizens, and it's like, damn, isn't that just happening in real life right now?
Yeah, it's like if those people in the Jalen Walker case were Marines and they were in Afghanistan and they did that to somebody in Afghanistan, all six of them are immediately court-martialed. They're all immediately dishonorably discharged, and they're just gone. Their life is in the military is gone.
Yeah, they might go to jail. Like literally, 100%. They might go to military jail.
And I think
so that's right.
There's no real argument against something like that being implemented here. But we've gone.
Which I will say, Oh yeah, we're going very long.
I was gonna say we've gotten down the deep rabbit hole of politics, right? And we're gonna keep the politics trend going. And we got a little bit of a quick hit global politics, right? So first, we are jumping over to the UK. Your boy Boris Johnson, the old British white man who hasn't known what a comb is since he was about 35 and hasn't seen a gym since he was 36, is out.
Dang. Got his ass.
He's out. He resigned today I don't think there's any other way to say it, but in disgrace. Prior to resigning, because I do have an article up for this one. Prior to his resignation, he faced what is being called a mutiny, with nearly 60 members of his staff and his government, almost half of his payroll, resigning. And it got to the point where everybody left, and even the prime minister insisted that he would continue as caretaker leader of the Conservative Party while it launches the process of finding a successor. So he was their Donald Trump, right?
Yeah, he was way better than Donald Trump, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. He is the British version of Donald Trump, yes.
We talk about how we're better than Britain all the time, right? How about how we won 2 world wars and they've won none, how we won the Revolutionary War.
I do think we are better than Britain. I'm not.
I think we are, but right now, this very moment, with just that, we're not. We're not.
Real shit. Did you see his speech?
No, I haven't watched it yet, but I have a feeling it's fucking hilarious.
It's awesome, bro. So before even I'll talk about the speech, I had seen something a while ago that was like a think piece on Boris, and his hair is such a calculated move in the eyes of this think piece, where they basically were saying that once his hair is undone, ruffled, everything is, up in arms, you can't look at him seriously, even though he is smart enough to speak these, speak about these subjects, to have plans for things, even if they're not good, all these things, and a lot of people loved that, and that is why he is the Donald Trump, because he was an outsider, even though he was a career politician anyway. He was still an outsider, as in he had a different attack on it. He's a character.
He was eccentric.
Definitely the word for it. And at the end of it, in his speech, and I don't remember the exact lead up to it, but he was like, blah, 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 everyone's against me now, and them's the breaks. And I was like, not a real person, absolutely a character. And
wasn't he the one responsible for leading the charge to leave the European Union?
Yes. And I think the Brexit vote happened before he was prime minister.
Was it?
I think, but I'm probably wrong, honestly. I would be remiss to say that actually happened before, because I think he was probably prime minister. But either way, Brexit was he was one of the big movers for it and stuff like that. So, and are they still even leaving? It's working out so badly, I know. But are they going to go back to the EU? If they go back to the EU, that's one of the biggest embarrassments. Yeah.
Oh God, there are at least 8 photos of this man in this NPR or CNN, I don't know what website it is, but this article, and not a single one of them, his hair looks any sort of a semblance of straight or combed or put together.
It's not supposed to be. That is the
He's
point.
like a trailer park Donald Trump.
Oh yeah, like an English trailer park though. I feel like those are so much more.
He's like Trailer Park
sheep.
Boys royalty.
Oh.
If the Trailer Park Boys had a mayor or a president of Trailer Town, it's Boris Johnson, but with a Canadian accent. And in a Canadian tuxedo.
What if they paid him a bag and he did it? There's a lot of people I've wanted to see on Trailer Park Boys recently. We were talking about Drake and Justin Bieber doing a cameo. That'd be sick. But no, Boris Johnson, that'd be amazing. Yeah. I think we gotta move on. I think we have to move on.
We're gonna stick with global politics and jump over to Mother Russia. Russia's been wild, and we're not talking about how they invaded a completely sovereign nation today. We are going to circle back on Brittney Griner, who we've talked about on the program before. Brittney Griner pleaded guilty today in court.
Shit.
Did you not hear about that?
No, I didn't.
So
she did that shit, didn't she?
Yeah, news broke today, and I found a transcript of a NPR reporter who was in the courtroom for this, and they're saying, well, it was. What was the scene like? First of all, it was hot. It was cramped. It's a small courtroom with no air conditioning. About 20 people packed in there, and among them was 6'9" Brittney Griner in a small locked cage in the corner.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, God, I hate Russia.
Terrible. Terrible. It's all on purpose. Yeah, continue.
So there, she was pretty quietly for most of the hearing today, occasionally standing up to address the judge with a quick, yes or no, Your Honor, and stooping to avoid hitting her head. After the prosecution today presented 2 more witnesses who said they were there at the Moscow airport in February when customs officials discovered these vape cartridges with what they later determined was hash oil in Griner's bag. And the prosecution was wrapping up for the day when suddenly Brittney Griner said she had something to say. She stands up and says I would like to plead guilty on the charges against me. I had no intention of breaking the law, and it was not my intention. I was, She went on to explain that she was in a rush in packing, and the cartridges accidentally ended up in her bag. It says that this was not discussed with her lawyers before the trial, and that this was something that she made a conscious decision of, and it was solely her decision. And just based on this little transcript and the person that was in the courtroom from NPR, it kind of sounds like she just like maybe made one of the biggest impulse decisions of humankind, and one of the biggest impulse decisions of her life that she's probably going to regret.
Wow. What? I mean, okay. So, first thing being is she never should be locked up in the first place. She never should have been there that long in the first place. But now she's in the situation, right? And at the end of the day, if we're getting to the point where she wrote a letter to Biden recently saying, hey, this is fucked up, like, help me out, and he's done nothing. What was that? It's probably been like 5 or 6 days since that happened.
Come on, man.
And he's done nothing. So now at this point, she's sitting looking at these walls, thinking like, yo, this could be it for 10 years. My guilty plea, my admitting to it, might actually save me years of my life if it actually fucking comes to this. Big respect to Brittney for doing what she thinks is right, whether it fucks up or not.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you can't, at this point in time and in geopolitics, you cannot trust anything that is coming out of Russia point blank.
No.
That's a hard fact. That's a hard line. You can't trust shit that comes out of Russia. So who knows if this is even how it went. Who knows if she was coerced beforehand. Who knows if she was subject to serious interrogation and told that if she just confesses, she will get a lesser sentence, blah, 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 blah. All of those are very real possibilities.
Facts.
But the thing that I'm seeing here and that comes to mind is they check your bags when you go into a country. Like, you leave the country, they check your bags. You get to your new country, they fully inspect everything. Like, I've gone through customs before and I've been grilled about shit that's in my bag entering a country. So it really brings me a little bit of pause that she got into the country with all of these vape pens.
Okay.
And now
I don't think she did. I don't think she
No?
did. No.
You think she bought something there?
Yeah, you know why she was there, right?
Yeah, for the basketball.
Exactly. So she's there playing basketball and shit. She's there for, let's say, at least a few weeks. Like, even if she had brought something over, like, she probably would have finished it and gone on to some new shit that she bought in Russia. I don't know, and I think this solidifies in my mind that it was hers, because I don't think she would say guilty if it was planted on her, which was something that I was thinking for the longest time. But if she said, I'm guilty, I don't think it was planted on her at all. So then at that point, like, she probably just accidentally packed it in her shit, because I do think she bought it in Russia. I think it's Russian whatever she was smoking.
Oh, come on, man.
Russian spliffs.
Yeah, and I mean, if that's an accidentally packing it, I mean, that's just the biggest mistake of your life. But if you're packing it and you're doing that consciously, thinking that you can get it out of the country, you're just an absolute fucking idiot.
Bro, she has so much money. Like
you don't need to catch 10 years in Russia over a couple vape pens.
Like, literally me, like, in college, if I'm like, oh, I need to get this over because this is, like, my Russian vape. Like, this is going to be a cool thing that I need to save. That's one thing. But if it's Brittney Griner,
I'm still not doing it if
now,
that's my thought process. I'm scared shitless in Russia.
Yeah, I think that's the realest thing for me is that, like, and I didn't necessarily want to get into this. I know we're starting to run long. But it's people have been saying, like, if it was LeBron in Russia, you've been seeing all that.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was LeBron thing, there's so many things wrong with that. One, LeBron would never be over there. One, because they pay him enough in the NBA, and we can have that conversation as to why the NBA isn't paid as much.
It's a conversation for another time.
XYZ, no matter what, right? But two, the real thing being the WNBA doesn't pay as much, so you have to go play other places, which is a thing that she was doing. But in Russia, you could go to Europe. You could go even to China. China would be a damn near the second worst place to go right now. You could go play Japanese basketball.
Yeah, but they got
Spain.
that happened to LaMelo for like stealing some shit out of like a mall in China. They got his ass
I remember that.
right out of there.
I remember that. Well, okay. Yeah, when you bring up that's super real. But also, it's a different situation with Russia. Like, I think that's the real thing.
I think Russia is like the hard and fast, I'm never going there.
And almost, why would you think that Russia would pay you so much money to be there and then lock you up when you're trying to leave? And she was one of the last WNBA players to actually
Those are all
leave.
big facts.
It all
Those
seems
are all big
orchestrated, dog.
And that's
what I'm saying.
I'm gonna cut you off there because we're staying in Russia and we're staying in sports. We're gonna jump over from the WNBA to the NHL because Russia is now becoming a problem for the NHL and for all Russian-born players because there are Russian NHL players that are reportedly being detained in Russia and prevented from leaving. Goaltending prospect Ivan Fedotov was recently detained on a remote military base in northern Russia. Fedotov planned to move to the U.S. to pursue a role in the NHL. He was drafted by the Flyers in 2015. He was the Russians' starting goalie at the Beijing Olympics in February. They won the silver medal, and he won the Russia's like top tier. There's not really a top tier team in the NHL, on par with CSKA Moscow, which is the best team in Russia. But he was their goaltender, and Putin said, "Nope, they're staying there." As that guy was detained, Kirill Kaprizov immediately left for the U.S., and there's just a whole bunch of blood in the water right now with Russian NHL players. And basically, if you're in the U.S. right now and you're a Russian player, you're not leaving. You are not leaving.
I wouldn't. I'd be afraid of being killed. Almost in the U.S., I'd be afraid of being killed. If you're Russian, I'm sorry, your country sucks. Like, the U.S. sucks. But at the same time, they, to this point, don't suck on an international scale to where every country knows that you could be killed in the streets, poisoned. You could have all of your visas revoked at any point. Like, the U.S. isn't that bad yet. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if you're Russian, if you're an athlete, if you're listening to this, shout out you. Welcome to the UKNO podcast. Get out.
Get out right now.
Literally.
If you gotta leave on foot, leave on foot. Just get the fuck out.
Honestly, if you're a foreign national that's still in Russia, why?
What are you doing?
You should have left a while ago. You know what I mean? Like,
why is that?
Like, yeah, leave. But that's my Brittney Griner thing. Is like, leave, bro. Like, you shouldn't have been there long into this. And then the Russians that are still there, that are like planning on leaving, if you can get that plan in motion, do that. But I think like it's about to be a big crackdown, and it's gonna have to be Putin dying for it to stop. That's really it. That is what it is.
Well, let's jump from Russia back home to Chicago. But we're staying in the NHL because the NHL first round of the NHL draft is going on tonight. It actually might be over. Oh wow. Okay. And I'm just seeing now another trade. But I wanted to talk about the Hawks because the Hawks are fucking wheeling and dealing, and the tank and the rebuild is in full effect. This morning, we traded Alex DeBrincat for the number 7 overall pick and a second-round pick, along with a pick in 2023. DeBrincat was our biggest trade piece. He's a surefire second liner at bare minimum, probably a first-line winger on a competing NHL team that's going to make the playoffs and they're going to make a push for the cup. So he went to Ottawa, and that was earlier today. So we have our 7th round pick. We took a defenseman out of, I want to say, the OHL. But we took a two-way defenseman, 6'2", about 185. He's got good hands, very good at finding loose pucks and winning the race to a puck. He's got really good feet. He's a very fast skater. Those are his comps. And then after the 7th pick, I want to say around pick 8 or 9, they announced another trade. And the Hawks sent Kirby Dach to Montreal for the 13th pick and some other ones. And so with the 13th pick, we took I believe a center who is going to be playing at the University of Michigan next year. And then I just saw this notification right now. We just had another trade with the Toronto Maple Leafs. And so that's the early one. And we just got another pick in this draft, which I don't know if this is... Oh, yeah, we did. So the 25th pick in the draft, and we took another defenseman out of where's he from? Oh, he's a high school player, so he's going to go to the USHL. Okay. He is...
Damn.
Yeah.
That's so crazy, bro.
6'4".
The NHL be picking.
Yeah, no, so from...
He's 6'4"?
From doing, like, nothing all of last season... You know, we had the Seth Jones trade on draft day last year. Didn't really do much. Said we were going to try and win. Stan Bowman finally out. John McDonough finally out. All the Kyle Beach shit. I feel like it's going to be a painful few years. We're going to suck. We are going to be the bottom of the barrel next year. Hopefully, we win the lottery and we get number 1 overall pick, because there's supposed to be 2 kind of generational talents there. So we want one of those for sure. But I'm at least optimistic and hopeful that we can kind of put all the bullshit of the Bowman era and the McDonough shit, we can put that in the rear view, and we can start to focus on the new Blackhawks sucking for 3-4 years, and then getting some of these young 18, 19-year-old prospects up and playing at the UC, playing in Rockford, getting good minutes, and hopefully turning them into some high-caliber NHL players. Thoughts?
That's dope. I always hate to hear any team in the city, besides the Cubs, having to take a long time to rebuild. And a long time is like 2 years. When you're talking about it's 2 years of rebuilding, I'm like, damn. So I'm not going to watch this year. I think it's my real thing. I'm probably not going to watch the Blackhawks this year. Shout out the Blackhawks hat that I just noticed. Like, it just stood out to me so much.
Yes, sir.
But at the end of the day, you know what? I'm probably going to keep it on the down low this year. I'm definitely going to hit some games. I think that's the real thing. Rebuilding years
Tickets
are great
are
years
cheap.
to go see some dirt cheap hockey games. And that's amazing. You know what I mean? The United Center is never one to shy away from giving away them 3rd level ticket, the 300 level for like $20. You know what I mean? That shit's huge. I love that.
You'll be able to get like 100 level seats day of, or like hour of before puck drop. You'll be able to get those for like probably $20.
Are you kidding me?
Easy,
I'm gonna be
dude.
right there. That sounds awesome.
I'm telling you, the UC is gonna be empty.
That's the only thing I'm excited about, is that's going to be cool. But 4 years? Oh, man. And if people are saying 4 years in Chicago sports, I know that's 10 years. That's 10 years of sucking. And then we're finally going to get good when those 18-year-olds are now like, 25, 26, somewhere around there. It's like we're going to have a good 10 years of them getting there. And then, hey, I'm down for another, triple threat run where we just, ring up some fingers, have a few parades. I hope the Sox are better in the meantime. Like, I don't even want to talk about the Sox. They're supposed to be great this year, man.
Yeah, I will say the one thing that it does kind of hurt my heart a little bit is this does give me a moment of pause of what now happens to Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews. I mean, Toews, I love him. He brought us 3 cups, my captain, but he's kind of washed up. He hasn't really played and had an impact for the past at least 2 seasons. You could argue 3. He hasn't been the player he once was. I think that injury that he had that was kind of unspoken about really set him back. But it's really going to hurt if we trade away Patrick Kane. And, I mean, we're going to get a fucking haul for him if we do. Best ever American-born player. But
something I'll say for this, bro. One being Taves, I think he's the type of guy I would love to see transition into a back of house, role with the Hawks.
I want him
don't
to
think
be our
he needs to
Udonis
keep
Haslem.
playing, bro. He is so fucking knowledgeable, rich already. It's time for Taves to retire. Just make that shit really smooth for him. I hope his investments are decent. You know what I mean? Something like that. He could probably get a really good deal from the Hawks to continue in their, back of house
in
shit.
like a front office role.
Exactly. With Patrick Kane, he's gonna get traded, and that's the real thing. Is I'm down to see it because like his heart's not in the Hawks anymore. It's like it's all these players that you see it do it, and they go for so long. Because I feel like back in the day, players wouldn't go for that long, or they'd be Shaq, and you see Shaq just go to a million different teams after he's won his championships. You know what I mean? Like he's still Shaq. He's still a Lakers Shaq. You're never gonna be like Orlando Magic Shaq is the one I care about. Because that's not true. It's always going to be Blackhawks Patrick Kane, no matter where he goes. Them jerseys are going to be good with me, and I think this is a good thing for the team. So cheap tickets, seeing my boys, my captain, my star, go other places and succeed, or go to front of house, back of house, be amazing there. I think this is a good thing.
I agree. It still hurts though. It's still
Yeah.
It's still a
Nobody
little
wants
too
to
close
see
to home.
Chicago
It
be
hurts the
bad.
heart. So from one
Yeah.
UC team to another, we got to talk about the Bulls because they are a
Right.
team to be excited about. They've had it already a fantastic offseason, in my opinion.
We not getting
Zach
KD though. I
LaVine
want KD.
gets a supermax deal.
Shout out.
People are going to debate, is he worth it? Does he deserve it yet? Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care.
Let's go.
He's been the best player that the Bulls have had since the best healthy player that the Bulls have had since Jimmy Butler. And they basically let Jimmy Butler kind of go for nothing. They didn't really get a lot for him. You have a core, you have a culture, you need to keep that core strong and cement that culture. DeMar's not going to be there forever. LaVine is going to be there for, I hope, another 8 years with a couple rings. Because if Paul turns out to be good, if Colby can get it together, Kofi, or no, what's his face from U of I? Ayo DeSumo, if he turns out to continue to be the real deal. I mean, look at what Boston did with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart. Like, that's the mold, and I feel like we've got that right now. If we have somebody that can fill the DeMar DeRozan void once he steps out, like, full train ahead. Like, full speed ahead. The train is going. The coal is hot. We got people in the back. We're ready.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And I think for real with the Bulls, I'm super down. I want to make sure that, one, we can keep these people healthy because Zach LaVine at the end of the season was having those problems with the knee, with the back. And it's like, bro, I'm not down for you to push these players to the dirt end. And I know it's not Thibodeau anymore, so, like, it's a different coach. All that shit will be different. But I need to make sure that that's what we're talking about because I do like DeMar, and I did like us this year too. I do like DeMar. I definitely love that Zach LaVine is staying. Shout out Supermax contract, it's whatever. I don't think that we were ever gonna get KD, but that would have been cool. But
we need another big man because we signed Andre Drummond.
Yeah,
he's just a fucking rebound machine, but he's not good in pick and roll defense. He's slow. Yeah. He's not very agile. He's basically going to just stand down at the block and just every single fucking rebound that comes his way is his. Yeah. And that's great, but we need another big who can run in transition, can play a pick and roll D. I want him Obama, but he stayed, I believe he stayed in Orlando. Yeah. DeAndre Ayton is nice.
That would be crazy. If Ayton was a Bull, that would be a crazy team.
But I think if KD goes to Phoenix, Ayton's got to be part of that package for sure. There's no way he's not. He's their biggest trade piece that they're willing to move. And I think he's got 1 year left or maybe he's a restricted free agent and it's a sign and trade. But if Phoenix doesn't lock down the KD deal, I would love to see some sort of a trade worked out for DeAndre Ayton where we're not, losing the fucking house.
Yeah, fact.
So,
real shit.
We ended on a high note. You ready to hop to the 3x3?
Let's go.
Last 3x3 of the season.
Copper drop, season 1. Copper drop, season 1.
Cop or drop?
What
The year of the Jordan 2, it just keeps on coming. They linked up with Nina Chanel for a Jordan 2 collaboration. We are getting a high in a red colorway, and we're also getting a low in a green colorway. They're very simple. The red one, kind of a little bit of an ode to the original Jordan 2, the fire red colorway. Decent. The 2 is, I kind of like the 2 a little bit better than the low better than the high. But for me, these are much higher on the retail side. I want to say the high top is $255, which is pretty steep for a Jordan 2. So these are going to be a drop for me. I don't think retail is going to be going too crazy, or resale is going to be going too crazy because of that retail. I have to say, though, if I was forced to get one of these, it would be the green lows.
Go crazy. Yeah, these are a drop for me. There's not too much going on here. You know what I mean? Especially if you're talking about a high retail price, that's just not that appealing. At the end of the day, also the design, not that appealing. It kind of looks like you had, like, the sole was whatever color it was, and you kind of pulled that up the ankle a little bit. It doesn't look cohesive with the rest of the shoe. It doesn't look that striking even compared to the rest of the shoe. It's just kind of a wedge on the back, so drop.
Yeah, it's a boring Jordan 2. The clothing, I will say though, the clothing in this release is fucking heat. They've got a dope hoodie. They've got a dope little like quarter zip pullover. They got dope button up. The camper hats are sick. So definitely check out the apparel, but maybe sleep on the sneakers.
Fact.
From one Jordan collab to another, but we're skipping the Maison Chateau Rouge Jordan 2 because we already hit on that one a couple weeks ago, and there is another collaboration that is dropping with the 2s, and these are the Jordan Series mids coming in 2 colorways, a white leather and a brown leather. They almost kind of look like chukka boots, a little bit more formal. The leather looks really nice, and I would say I'm kind of digging them. What are you thinking?
So I'm liking these quite a bit. The thing I'm looking at first here, are you seeing the very first picture it's showing? So it's always the really first picture that I show on the podcast. But the very first picture, there are like little laces coming out of the sides of them. Are those from the pants?
Yes. And I want to find out where I can get those pants.
Those are really cool pants, but that's not the point. Because if those were part of the shoe, I would really like that as well. But these are a cop for me. These are fire. These are dope. I think in both colorway they're really cool. No notes. Like, I think the little like spread open part is really cool. They got a little lace ringlet that goes through the like little checker part. You know what I mean? Or like the striped part. The big logo on the side looks cool. The laces are cool that come with them. The like kind of cream bottom with the Jordan logo on the bottom, cool. Yeah, cop.
I'm a big fan. Both colorways are a cop for me. I love the Jordan 2 that they're releasing with this shoe as well. That already released over in Europe. I've been trying to get a pair for like 3-4 weeks now, and I can't hit on any of these little restocks at the boutiques. So I'm going to be crossing every single finger bone on my body that I hit on the sneakers raffle. I think
Cross it.
the white ones for me are more of a sneaker. The brown ones are a little bit more formal. They give off a little bit more of a dress shoe vibe, but I'm definitely rocking with both of them. So cop for both. So we're 2 for 4 right now.
I think. Wait, so first I wanted to know, do you know your European shoe size?
No.
Okay, all right,
Come on, man.
And then I could definitely see these both of them in a formal setting or in like a more casual setting. I really think the whites would go well, even with a suit. A lot of people are sneakers and suits people these days. I think people would fuck with it too.
Okay, we're gonna finish strong with a Nike SB Low. We love our SBs here. Your boy, I finally got a pair of Nike SBs. I got the Turduncan Highs.
Oh, okay.
Hands down
SB
the most comfortable
Highs.
shoes I own.
Skate shoes, man.
But these are the Green Apple Dunk Lows. SB had been running, I want to say there's 4 colorways. There's a cherry, there's a blue raspberry, there's the green apple, and then there's like an orange one, I think. Maybe I'm forgetting one. But these are the green apples that are releasing, when are they dropping? It's called the Fruity Pack that they're part of. But
Fruities.
They're supposed to be coming out, I believe, on the 9th. So we'll see, if that sticks around. Not on the sneakers app, so these are going to be through your skate shops, which I live in St. Louis. I got a skate shop that has the SB releases now. I'm hyped. I might actually have the chance to cop these sneakers. These are cop for me. It's a very simple design. There's not too much crazy going on, but it's a nice green colorway, and I love my Nike SBs.
Okay, let's go. I love a Nike SB too. I think the real thing for me is that I see a lot of suede on these, and I just can't do it, man.
Can't get down with the suede.
I can't get down with the suede, and one of the problems being that like the Nike SBs I had back in the day, they were these gray, black, and gold, and there was white trim on them. SBs, it was so fire. Everyone was like, "Damn, would you get those?" I was like, "Mind your business." Like it's that. But these, I can't say are a full cop for me. I love an SB as well. These are a flip. Let's go.
Okay, you gonna get some good profit on those. $100 retail.
Everybody love. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bro, SBs are so cheap at retail too. That shit's so awesome.
The resale
Why are
goes
they the
insane.
Exactly. It's because like the retail goes so fast,
And it's
then
because
all of a sudden,
they're the most limited as far as release goes, because they do it through all the or all the skate shops.
skate shops.
Like the Phillies dunks that we reviewed a little while ago. I'm still trying to get a pair of those. Those released through the skate shops quite a while ago. They're just now loaded on the sneakers app for, I want to say, like 2 weeks from now. So maybe I'll get lucky on that one too.
Maybe you should just start skating, man. Now that you live near a skate shop, it's that simple. You know what I mean?
Hey man,
Get back to
the last time when you were living at that old apartment with Sam, we hit the skate park. I ollie.
Yeah.
I put a hole in my Ultra Boost ollie in.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
come
a
on,
whack
man.
thing to do, but yeah, worth it as fuck. All right,
Top three.
top three time. So I chose top 3 here, and because it's the end of season 1, something a little sappy, songs that make you think of the other host, and I got my fucking songs already.
This one,
So-
it's coming straight from the heart because it's coming off the top.
Exactly.
I didn't put any research into it. You got research into yours, so I'm gonna let you lead off.
I wouldn't even say it was research because I definitely had picked it and then immediately wrote my 3 songs down. So the first one I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go from like least to greatest. You know what I mean? So "Cigarettes on Patios" by Baby Jake. If I ever hear that song, I'm like, that's a Jake Kraft song right there.
There we go. That one's still on repeat, dude. I love that song.
Oh, it's fire, dude. I show that whenever someone's like, "Oh, I fuck with like kind of EDM, kind of poppy shit, or like rock, blah blah blah." I'm like, check this song out, like, see how you feel, you know. And they always love it every time. It's great.
All right, we're going back to the grade school days here. I'm going Avenged Sevenfold, "A Little Piece of Heaven."
Let's go.
I remember you found that music video. We would watch that thing on loops.
Yo, it's so good. Like to this day, it's so good. It's so it's traumatizing. And literally just today, I had made a song I sampled, or not even sampled really, but like had used the intro for "Afterlife" from Avenged Sevenfold, for like a thing. So I definitely went through the whole like Avenged Sevenfold catalog, doing that shit. It was fun. Okay, my next one, I am gonna go with. So gotta go back to the Kanye CD, bro. Definitely a big moment when I got Graduation, the dirty version from you. So I'm gonna say Kanye Champion, because that was the song probably that I listened to the most at the time. Yeah, Champion.
I like it. We're gonna stick with the heavier rock and roll. A band that I love, top 10 band for me. A Day to Remember. You are the one that introduced me to this, and we gotta go with the cream of the crop, Downfall of Us All.
Hey, let's go. The original, the OG.
You know when that song comes up.
Exactly, and a lot of people actually have been like popping out of the woodwork as A Day to Remember fans recently in my life. I was like, oh, word, you fuck, let's go. Like,
Bro, they're coming to
it
St.
made an
Louis
imprint
in
on a lot
August,
of
I
people.
think.
I think you'd said that. I mean, shit, bro. If I have the means at the time, I will be down there. Like,
If
I'm
you can
definitely
get down here and we can do the 999
do it
challenge,
all.
and we could do the A Day to Remember.
I should probably just organize for that, but we'll get there. Okay, so my last one, I had chosen one that's on the list here. Do I even want to do that one? All right, I'm gonna go for it. So my last one is Wagon Wheel, just because I don't know. It's one of the songs. When I hear that song, I'm like, damn, I wish Justin was here, cause let's go. But that's just a vibe for me. I don't know.
All right.
And either version also, Darius Rucker or
No. Fuck Darius
It hits the
Rucker. We
same.
don't like that version.
It hits the same. It hits the same for me. It is. I love old Crow Medicine Show though. That's the better one. Last one. What you got?
Okay. I gotta go with an OP Sav song.
Word.
Gotta.
I hope those would remind you of me. Yeah. Okay.
I think I'm going off the album. I'm going Roller Coasters. Roller Coasters off of Roller Coasters.
Let's go.
It's a vibe.
solid one.
It's a vibe.
Definitely a song that I fully wrote too. Shout out that song. All right, bet. See, I don't know. A feel good finish.
Feel good finish to just close out the season. Now we hit the playlist, baby. Okay.
I went first last time. What you got?
We going a little Jessie Reyez. Found this song, I think on her Instagram. She tweeted out or posted on Instagram. Released last week, I think, called Fraud. It's super catchy. The beat is fire, and I'm just a big fan of Jessie Reyez. I like her vocals. I think she's got a really unique voice, and her lyrics are always on point. So this is Jessie Reyez, Fraud.
Such a fucking fraud. Oh, you such a fucking fraud. They thinking you my bodyguard. Meanwhile, you're the one that's been hurting me from the fucking start. Oh, you such a
Okay,
fucking
no,
fraud.
I'm saying that's fire. I mean, we've also thrown out like having clean songs at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy to me that just nobody does clean songs anymore. Like, she says the F word. Jessie Reyez saying the F word 16 times in the chorus is wild to me. But hey, do your thing as an artist. But that song's fire.
Oh,
Absolutely fire.
I'm a big fan.
Okay, let's see. So first one for me, I wanted to go with hold on, I gotta hit my list real quick. Let's see, where was I even at? I was unprepared. I got Gifted. I'll say Gifted. 2 songs this week. One was a ska song. Do you still listen to ska at all?
Not intentionally, but Real Big Fish was popping up on my shuffle lately.
I think it's the real thing is like Real Big Fish is still doing. Matt Mateagan was also front row at Real Big Fish. I think like 2 days ago,
Are you
which
seriously?
is crazy to me.
I didn't even know they were
like
still touring. That's wild.
Literally, they
Dude,
still tour.
I
He's
saw
still going
Third
front
Eye
row.
Blind over the weekend.
Are you for real?
Yeah, they
That's
did
it?
a free July 4th concert downtown.
Fire.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So this is a song called Bothered by Jer. It's Jer. Jer.
Jer?
Jer. But
You go to the Jer
it's a bunch
show?
of-
Jer?
Bro, I would love to go to the Jer show because it's just a bunch of black dudes who are playing ska, and this came out, I think, in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. But I hope it plays because I'm on YouTube right now, so I hope I'm about to find out. It might not be playing because I didn't download it. See, now it's
I'm gonna pull that one up after the show. I gotta hear that.
Alright, yeah. That was Jared.
Sure, bruh.
Could you hear it, or was it just blown out?
I could hear it a little bit at the beginning.
But then at the end...
At the end, it just cut out because you were yelling into the mic.
Alright, bet. Perfect. I hope it worked. Either way, yes.
Okay, let's see. We'll get funky. We'll go Griz. Dropped a new track this week, actually, called Feel No Pain. I had heard this because I was listening to... he released his... I want to say it was his set from like EDC Vegas or maybe Summer Camp or like one of those EDM festivals. He released his set from it, and I was listening to it kind of on repeat while I was packing up. And this was on it, and I was like, yo, this is a dope song. I couldn't find it anywhere. He released it this week. And also shout out to Griz. I feel like he is one of the OGs from back in the dubstep days, and he is still doing the damn thing. Saw him at North Coast last year. Killed it. So this is Griz with his new track, Feel No Pain.
One thing about music, when it hit you, feel no pain. When it hit.
Okay, that's some real like dubstep shit. I feel like
funky
Griz,
with it.
he'll go back and forth because he'll have like a real dubstep song, and then he'll have a more like kind of jazzy, like what do they call it? Like a, I forget what their name for it was. They had a specific like genre, but
Chill pop?
regardless. Nah, hell no. It was a little different than chill pop. Okay, so my next song is called ACAB. All Cops Are Bastards. It's by AMRTUM, and it's definitely got weird
AMRTUM.
pronunciation marks of it. AMRTUM or whatever.
I looked that one up when you threw it on the call sheet before we started because I saw the title was ACAB. And I was like, okay, this could go like one of two ways. And I was not expecting like just super heavy bass house techno.
Rave music.
I was like,
Yes.
what? I kind of fuck with it,
Nah,
dude.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I was like, all right, hold on. So time back in. So this song, ACAB, ACAB, was given to me by Danny Drill, the homie Drillson. And it was just a very interesting one to me. And being a DJ, I'm probably not gonna play this at like the kickback, but I'll definitely play this in a set, like transitioning to some other shit. You know what I mean? Like just talking about fuck police. You know what I mean? So this is AMRTUM, ACAB.
AMRTUM.
AMRTUM.
Yeah,
AMRTUM.
no, you had it right. You got it right. AMRTUM. Yeah. Not worried about this one getting us demonetized at all.
How old is that song?
January of 2021. It was like
Okay,
a
not
year
that
and a
old.
half. Yeah, no, it's definitely pretty recent. All right, here we go. Next one.
Okay. We're going to finish off with a little Top Dog Entertainment. Reason, who's been on my radar just for a little bit, but had a single come out last week called Barely Miss, and he did not miss with this one. Bit of a banger. Bit of a low-key banger. So, new Reason.
I think that's the real thing, man. Reason's been going
like
nuts,
a
man.
rocket.
Here we go.
This nigga been that corner for your pockets, you get hit. Shit feel like a rocket when it's sliding out that clip. With them politics, school
okay.
of hard knocks. We got scholarships, stories I forgot. Wait, let me rewind.
Okay, hold on.
I was going to
I
say,
don't
you
wanna
playing
get
that long as shit, you about to get us cut
I just
off.
wanted to get to the bass. Bro. Here we go. Okay, all right. That's all I needed. Sorry.
There you
I
go.
wanted to hear it.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
you
no,
playing
that's
that way
fine.
too long.
I know. I'll cut that out too. I don't even give a fuck. That's definitely some Reason shit, bro. Reason's been going nuts. He had the Absol song "Flick It Up," and I played that at a show recently, and it went nuts. Like people were definitely like, "Yo, you fuck with this song?" Like people don't play Reason enough. XYZ. Like, but yes, big love. Okay. My last song
What you got?
was recorded in 1936. Sorry, 1937. And it's called This World Is Not My Home by Bill Monroe.
Okay. You have my attention, sir.
It's a vibe. It was in 1937, so you should already know kind of what to expect. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not going to be your typical pop song right now.
It's not a song you would normally hear on the pod.
Exactly. But this one struck me, so here we go. 1937, Bill Monroe, This World Is Not My Home.
This world's not my home, I'm just a passing through. My pleasure and my hope are placed beyond the blue. Many friends
They going nuts.
has gone on before, and I can't.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like they're standing on the stage with their thumbs and their suspenders like this? Maybe with a piece of a straw tucked behind their ear?
Exactly. One of them is, the other one has the banjo. But yeah, like that's exactly what you're talking about. I don't know. I'm a sucker for a really good, like, old country bluegrass song, if that shit kicks. You know what I mean?
I feel you. I'm going to have to check that
is
one out and get the full Bill Monroe experience.
Hey, thank you. That's all I can say, Conson. That's all I can say. Well, with that being said, thank you for listening to season 1 of the show. We'll be back. All love. What you got to say? Anything?
Nah, bro. I'm just excited for season 2 where we're gonna put the pro in our professional podcaster title.
Ooh.
That's what we're about to do.
Put the pro in professional. Yes.
We're about to have this
Thank
shit
you for listening to
buttoned
this
up
song.
like church on a Sunday.
That's how it should be. You know what I'm saying? And it shall be. We're about a little hour, 20 minutes in. Thank you for listening this long. For the last however many podcasts we've been doing this long. My name's Mike Watts.
It's your boy Jay Kraft. We signing off for the last time in season 1. Peace.
And now you know.
Hey.
Okay.